Remember, as a kid at school, you'd do anything to swap your lettuce and tomatoes sandwich for a big white roll smeared with butter and stuffed with potato chips. Does the truly tasty stuff have to make us fat and choke our hearts? Is there really a healthy school lunch that tastes as good as the chip roll?
Well, nutritionist Cyndi O'Meara has a very simple philosophy: keep foods as traditional as possible, and then kids can have their cake along with the carrot sticks, alfalfa sprouts and avocado. And Cyndi joins us now, bursting with inspiration. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Cyndi.
morning.
What's wrong with it?
Very relevant, isn't it, at this time of year?
What's wrong with the tradition? What's wrong with... What does bad food do to kids?
Well, bad food traditionally gives them hyperactivity, they don't concentrate, they just muck up in class. That's what we've been, what we've known over the last 25 years. But traditional lunches that we had 25, 30 years ago are the ones I want to see come back, rather than the pick-a-pack lunch boxes,
Let's explain that expression, because that made a lot of sense to me, that the pick-a-pack where you open it up and it's packets of everything.
Yeah, a pick-a-pack lunchbox is everything has a packet, has additives, preservatives. Not only is it bad for the environment, it's bad for the body as well. So what we want to do is just go back to the traditional lunches.
What is the traditional lunch?
Well, it was a sandwich, a piece of fruit and a homemade cookie or cake. What's wrong with that? Why do we have to have the muesli bars and the dippy-doo cheese things and the additive jelly coloured thing? Oh, I just hate them.
Just on that, before we get to the traditional lunch, you mentioned muesli bars. You would think, wouldn't you, that muesli bars are a good thing to give your kids? It sounds healthy.
Well, if you make them yourself, yes. But if you have a look at most of the ones in the supermarkets, the additives, preservatives, flavourings and unnatural things that are in there don't make them healthy anymore. They're just as bad as a cake with every additive and preservative in it.
And look, and clearly schools are on it too. I know my girls' school that they'll be starting on Thursday, they have a fruit break at 10 o'clock in the morning before morning tea, just to kind of keep them going at their desk. I mean, what sort of things should we be putting in there to encourage that kind of slow release and avoid the hyperactivity?
Well, if it's a fruit break, fruit's excellent. It's got the fibre in it, it's got the vitamins and minerals in it, and this time of year we've got mangoes, we've got grapes, we've got strawberries, and so I would pack those. Like when we get to winter, we've got apples, oranges and bananas. That's it.
Yeah, but no kid wants to know about fruit. How do you make it appealing to them?
Well, you have to start them early. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Is that you begin them early and they love fruit. Like my children, who are now teenagers, will go for fruit far quicker than they'll go for other things. My daughter went and stayed at a friend's place and she was having like pizzas and chips and everything like that. She came home and she went, "I feel so bloated, just give me some fruit, Mum." So this is a 16-year-old girl that knows what bad food does for me.
Yeah, because they feel great.
Yeah.
If you were to slice them up or peel them or anything like that, does that help?
It does. Okay. It definitely does, and that's why I've got this machine. I just love this machine.
Oh, what is this?
This is for cutting apples so children will eat them. And I have mine on the bench all the time, and my children are always doing their apples. I'll show you how it works. You just get an apple. You don't even have to wash it because it peels it and cuts it.
Oh, it peels it as well?
Cuts it. Yeah, you watch. And they should have these in tuck shops and charge the kids 10 cents to do this. Okay, so it comes off, and then we have an apple that is quite cute.
Oh, see?
That one broke.
How much are those things in the shops?
Well, it changes from state to state, I've figured out. Like, I bought mine in Queensland for $20, but I hear they're a bit more expensive in Victoria, so I think they need to lower the price of those ones.
Well, you know what? There are some little things that I found in, should I say the shop? IKEA. There you go. And you push them on and they core it and slice it into... I mean, all that sort of stuff makes food fun, doesn't it? And that's the whole idea. You've got to make it appetising as well, aside from just sticking an apple in there, don't you?
Oh, let's get back to the traditional lunch. So, a traditional...
Oh, hang on, sorry. Speaking of apples...
good idea,
This is amazing. This is what I was talking about at the start of the show. This is a little apple or pear or nectarine protector.
Holder. Yeah, and you can get banana ones as well. Let's put an apple in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just put it in there and it keeps it cool as well.
So it keeps it cool.
You do that, and you just put it in there and they put it on their bag.
You just hang it off your bag so it doesn't get... Oh,
well, that was good. I obviously didn't clinch it down far enough. Let's do it again.
There is a Velcro strip.
There is a Velcro strip.
Most people will be able to work that out.
And do you know
we
what
mums didn't do it well.
These come
there we go.
And we'll have a link on our website. You can get them for bananas, and you can also get those lunch... reusable lunch wrappers, which I have never seen in my life.
So what I've done is I've packed 2 lunches. So this is one lunch, and this is really good because it will stay cool as long as you put... And I thought this was really cute. This is an ice You just put it in the freezer and freeze it and just put it in. There's another one, not as cute as that one, but the kids will love
It's
that.
an ice pack, yeah?
It's an ice pack.
Okay.
But this is the sandwich wrap that I found. I go to expos all the time for kids and food, and this is a reusable lunch sandwich.
Okay, because most people are probably wrapping their sandwiches in cling wrap, right?
Yes.
What's wrong with cling wrap?
Well, most cling wraps have additives on them, such as 320 and 321, and they're not permitted for children. These additives, they shouldn't be in children's food.
So they're leaching into the food?
Cling wrap, yeah. Well, the minute you put it on food, it will...
Okay.
All right, but here's the question. What if you want to put tuna on it one day and cheese on it another?
You wash it.
Oh,
like, get
fine.
a bunch of
Totally...
them, you just wash them in the washing machine. You just get a whole bunch of them.
I'm going to get those.
Yeah.
That's very clever.
Since we've got bread here, can we talk about bread? What's good bread? I mean, because the traditional Aussie sandwich from years ago would have been white bread.
Yeah, it
With
would have been.
sauce.
See, I don't have a problem with white bread.
And hundreds and thousands.
I don't have a problem with white bread as long as the bread is made with traditional ingredients, which are 5. But if you have a look on most supermarket breads these days, there's about 50 ingredients with numbers that you don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
So you have to have an additive co-breaker for that. So as far as breads go, I go to my baker down the road, and they're all over the place now. They traditionally make bread, and if you're not near one, go and buy one and put it in your chest freezer or buy the best bread.
Yeah.
And the same goes in tuck shops. You know, they're making tuck shops healthy. But they say, let's go bright green. It's called a traffic light system. And they say, let's go green. And green has bread and fruits and vegetables and good food. But what I'm finding is they're not even looking at the bread and seeing that there's additives in the bread. Yeah. They're still using artificial sweeteners in some of the drinks. So we need to go...
And that's the green.
That's the green.
Yeah. Presumably they have orange and they have red, which is even worse.
Yeah, they have red and amber, exactly. And for me, I want to see tuck shops go bright green. Yeah. So we're really looking at the preservatives and additives that are in that.
Okay. Yeah, now this is tuna. I've got a question about this. My children will eat tin tuna, but they're not big enough yet to pull the ring pull off all by themselves. Can you open it up and tip it out into the lunch if you've got a freezy pack in you, or are you risking salmonella poisoning?
Well, I don't think so. Like in Victoria, where it's not quite as hot, I think you have to pick your days. Pick your days when you're going to do that, because to have variety in their lunchboxes is important. So pick the day when you do
far north
tuna.
Queensland or even Brisbane.
Watch it and always have these cold packs with it if you're going to do that, and make sure that the kids are keeping it in the shade and not the sun. So you do need to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, are we overdoing lunches? I mean, how much do we need in a lunch, really?
If you feed your kids a good breakfast, lunches should be as they normally are, like a sandwich, a piece of fruit, and even sometimes a cake. You don't need that, or a cookie. Yeah. So what I've done here is I've made you up. This I love. I have this for my children. This is a pack that does not leak. So I put carrot and celery, tomato, red pepper. This is a dip that I've made with a bit of ducker on it, sultanas and some nuts, and then I've just made an avocado cheese lettuce sandwich.
Lovely.
With pesto.
Oh, I like that.
But bear in mind that some schools you cannot take nuts to.
Yeah. And some schools allow it, some don't, and you have to find your policy with that. Like
that is the great way to eat vegetables too, isn't it? It's like gatto. Having just been in Bali, kids love vegetables because they can dip it into the mix.
Peanut sauce along the way.
But you know, most people don't want to deal with this. So what I do at the beginning of the week is all my carrots, celeries, I have everything prepared. And this is how I preserve my carrot celery. Instead of plastic and Tupperware...
I was about to say, doesn't it dry out? But
no, it's moist. This is a moist tea towel. I cut all up my carrot, celery and my red pepper. And as long as this towel stays moist and in the crisper, this will last for 4 or 5 days.
Aren't you clever? That's a really good idea.
So you get up in the morning, it's all cut. You just add it into the lunch boxes. The kids come home and they'll open this up themselves. They'll get some... would you like some? Too.
Yeah, it just looks so good.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And it's inviting. So they'll come home from school and they will just open that up with their dips. And I make all sorts of dips for the kids. Like, they want dips for lunch half the time. Like, I'll make up... Yeah. It's just about being prepared and organised.
Yep, beautiful. Thank you so much for those tips. I'm sure they'll be very well heeded.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back after this.